All right, let's get right into it. You spent hours polishing your resume. You've made it perfect for that dream job. And you finally click apply. But what really happens in that moment? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the technology that's reading, understanding, and even ranking your resume before a single person lays eyes on it. You know, it's a question we've all asked ourselves. You send your application out there, and it just feels like it vanishes into a digital black hole. Is anyone even looking at it? Well, the answer is yes, but it might not be who you think. At least, not right away.
So let's talk about that black hole. Why is it even a thing? It really all comes down to a huge problem that hiring managers and HR departments are dealing with every single day.
I mean, just imagine you're a recruiter. You put up one single job posting, and boom, your inbox is flooded with hundreds, sometimes even thousands of applications. Trying to manually go through every single one to find that perfect candidate, it's not just hard, it's a totally overwhelming task. And this gets right to the heart of it. A research paper on this topic puts it very plainly. For the humans involved, the process isn't just a time sink. It's also, and I quote, dull. That boredom, that tedious repetition, that's the exact pain point that this kind of AI technology was built to fix. So how did we even get here? Well, to really get it, it helps to take a quick look back. This isn't the first time we've used technology to try and make hiring easier. In fact, you can think of it as happening in about 3 big waves, or generations. Way back when, it was all physical. Newspaper ads and actual stacks of paper resumes that someone had to sort by hand. Then came the second generation, job websites. This was a huge step up, right? You could search for keywords, but here was the problem. It was super rigid. If your resume said managed a team, but the recruiter searched for team lead, you might be totally invisible. Now we're in the third generation, which is a whole new ballgame. AI systems that don't just look for words, they actually try to understand what they mean. So how in the world do you teach a computer to actually read a resume like a person does? Well, the magic behind all of this is a field in artificial intelligence called natural language processing. You'll hear it called NLP. Basically, NLP is the technology that gives machines the power to make sense of human language. So instead of just seeing a bunch of words on a page, it can start to figure out the concepts, the skills, the experience, the stuff that actually matters. But how does it work when it sees your resume? Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First, the system just sucks in your resume file, whether it's a PDF or a Word doc. Then it pulls out all the raw text, all your jobs, skills, education, and it totally ignores the fancy formatting. And finally, here's the really cool part. It creates what you can think of as a unique skill fingerprint. It turns all those important words and concepts into a string of numbers, a vector, that represents who you are professionally. Okay, so your resume now has this unique digital fingerprint. What happens next? Well, now the system has to figure out how well your fingerprint matches the job you applied for. This is where the scoring comes in. It uses a mathematical method called cosine similarity. Now, don't let the name scare you. The idea is actually pretty simple. The system creates a skill fingerprint for the job description too. Then it just compares the two. Think of each fingerprint as an arrow pointing in a certain direction in space. The smaller the angle between your resume's arrow and the job's arrow, the more similar they are. And that means, boom, a higher match score for you. And here's what that looks like in a really simple way. The AI has checked 2 candidates against the skills needed for the job. You can see right away, resume A is a fantastic fit, a 90% match. Its skills are pointing in almost the exact same direction as the job description. But resume B? Only a 30% match. Its skills are just pointing somewhere else entirely. The recruiter can see this difference at a glance. So, after all that complex math and fingerprinting and scoring, what does the hiring manager actually end up with? Something incredibly simple and powerful, a ranked list. And here it is. This is the final output. The recruiter doesn't see all the crazy math behind the scenes. They just see this clean, simple list. They can tell instantly that the person who sent in resume 4 is probably their best bet, followed by resume 1, and so on down the line. This lets them focus their time and energy on the people who are most likely to be a great fit. So what's the bottom line here? What are the big takeaways from all this? And where is this technology going next? Let's talk about what this really means for companies and, more importantly, for you. For companies, it's a no-brainer. It's cheaper, it's faster, it's more effective. But for you, the candidate, the big takeaway is this. Your actual skills and experiences matter more than ever. You don't have to worry so much about stuffing in the perfect keywords. You need to focus on clearly explaining what you've achieved. And get this, the system is always learning. The more resumes it sees, the smarter it gets. The future is probably systems that can even look at your public GitHub or LinkedIn to get a more well-rounded, authentic picture of what you can do.
And all of this leads to a final, really important question. If AI gets amazing at shortlisting all the candidates, it doesn't mean humans are out of a job. It just changes the job. So we're left with this thought. What is the new role for people in the hiring process? Perhaps it's to free them from the tedious sorting so they can focus on what humans do best, judging character, assessing culture fit, and having the real human conversations that ultimately build a great team. It's definitely something to think about.